Bowling Technique Analysis by Brandon Grasmick. So here we can take a look. I have two videos of the dominant versus the non-dominant hand. So we could take a look and compare and contrast between the two. I'm just going to move this video forward slightly. There we go. So we could take a look at the beginning stance. So first of all, the stance between the two, dominant versus non-dominant, is pretty similar overall. Both have the athletic pose with the knees bent slightly and the waist forward. The only difference between two is the feet in the dominant hand. The left foot is slightly forward, which is correct, but I also did that in the non-dominant hand, which is incorrect. I should have had the right foot going forward for the four-step approach. But other than the feet, basically pretty much similar. You could also see right here with my mouse, I have the cupped wrist, and that is in both the non-dominant and the dominant hand, and that's just so I could spin the ball. So now we can take a look and watch the video all the way through, take a look at the four-step approach, and compare and contrast both of those. So here is the dominant hand. Overall, a good job with four-step approach on the first step. I push the ball away and my arm comes slightly down, and then the ball spin moves from right to left, and as you can see, which led to a strike. So now the non-dominant hand. As you see, the first two steps are pretty similar in the four-step approach between the two, but the big difference with the non-dominant hand is the last two steps. You can tell I get a little off balance. I'm so used to shifting my weight to the left side. So you can see I almost took a fall there, and also the spin of my ball wasn't as good as with my dominant hand and ended up only knocking a few pins down. So that's basically it for the dominant versus the non-dominant hand. Also, with the finish, you could tell with the dominant hand, a lot more smoother, the right leg going behind the left, non-dominant hand not so much. So now just comparing, contrasting the dominant hand versus the way the book has it. Few similarities, but there are also some big differences that I noticed, so we'll just go ahead and go step by step with the dominant hand video, if I could get it here. Alright, so overall, compared to the book, pretty similar. Got the knees bent, got the athletic pose. The only big difference is my right shoulder should be dipping a little bit more with the ball. That is what the book says. So on to step one. So step one and almost two, you can see I push the ball away, which is pretty accurate according to the book. But step two, I'm supposed to have my hand all the way vertically down, which you can see I'm not going to do in step two. And then for step three, which is about right there, the ball and my hand are supposed to be vertical with my spine, and you can see that is not happening there. And then finally with the release, pretty good. My hand should be up a little bit higher compared to the book, but overall the release is pretty similar. And that is my bowling analysis.